Hello everybody, my name is Lucy and welcome to another Books and Brushes video. Today I would like to talk about my favourite books covers. So I've done a video about my favourite books and today I thought I'd compare the different versions of the covers they each have. So this could be like US versus UK editions or just the newer prints, whatever it is that I've seen. I haven't really taken into account like international covers, like as in kind of other language covers, but I have seen a few. But if you'd like me to do a video on like international covers of these books or any other books, then let me know in the comments. But today I'm going to be comparing mainly just US and UK and reprints of my list of favourite books from my last video. So let's get started. So I'm going to go in the exact same order I went in my last favourite books video. So we'll start off with Delirium. So here is my book cover for Delirium, if you need a refresher on what it looks like. This is the UK edition, pretty sure it's the UK edition. And these are the ones, like I said, that I own. I have Delirium, I have Pandemonium, I also have Requiem, although Requiem is in a slightly different cover than, if you look at this, I've got two paperbacks, but the third paperback is different to my hardcover. I'm not quite sure what the first two hardcovers look like. I haven't found those, but you can still see that they all have the same kind of vibe and style and that they are a group. I'll just hold up the first one. I love this cover. I know it's one I own and I really love it. Like, I bought this, like I said, on accident. Just went and bought it. I didn't know about other covers. I didn't know there would be any other covers. I just bought it and oh, I think it's so pretty and it really does sum up what the book is about, which is what you want in a book cover. You got to have it be aesthetic but also to match the content of the story. And I love this. The way like the landscape is and like the peachy colours, like the sun glowing through over the figure. I just thought the whole thing is aesthetically really, really beautiful. I love the lowercase lettering, and you probably can't see it on camera, but it's this kind of like really light metallic lilac. It's really pretty. Can the camera pick that up? I'm not sure if it can. So, just so pretty, and I really love that it sums up that Lena's experience, like where she lives and the beat, and it just, I don't know, the whole vibe of the cover really feels like Delirium. And through the rest of the covers as well, I love like how unified they are. The next one with like the field and the blue and the green, so pretty. And my edition with the deep dark blue, again, really, really matches. I also quite like this paperback purple version. It looks really nice and they all just flow so well together. They look so good and they really sum up. And this is one of those occasions where people on covers, it's good to have figures you can't see, because you don't get any kind of sum up of, like, you don't get a picture of this character, so you can still imagine what they look like to you. So let's move on to our next Delirium cover. Our second load of covers for Delirium we're going to talk about are the US editions, which I don't have, so here they are. Now these are the ones that you've probably seen most. I don't really see them in the UK shops because they're US editions, but I have seen them about a lot. Definitely gone for the face on the cover, which is a big kind of debate. I think you can't imagine your own heroine or character. Picks up like full frontal on the cover, and again we've got that lowercase writing, and there's not really much else to say about it. Colour scheme is blue, I'm missing an eye. They're fine, they look okay. I don't have really a problem with the face on the cover because I can ignore that when I'm imagining the character myself. It's not like so detailed that you can read. I mean, you can see her, but you could just throw that out the window. They're fine, there's nothing wrong with these covers, but I don't think there's anything about them that I go, oh, that looks so beautiful. There's nothing about them I like. Does it capture the story? Meh, not really. They're average. That's my opinion on them. I just think they're average. They don't particularly show the story, they don't particularly look great, but they don't not represent the story and they don't look horrible. So I'm sorry USA, if you disagree with me, I'm really sorry. But if you love the UK covers, I'm even more sorry. But yeah, personally these covers just don't float my boat. Next, I have a strange cover that I've seen a fair bit about, but I've never seen it in real life, only in pictures. And I cannot find, for the life of me, the second and third in the series, but here is the first one. Now, you've probably seen it around too, I know I have. We've got like the text, the swirly Delirium text and the name, and then like a face behind it. and a flat blue like overlay. It's a bit weird. I don't know what they were thinking, whoever designed this cover. I'm not quite sure what they were trying to achieve. Again, it's like they were determined to get that face in there but give it a bit more hidden. I definitely don't see delirium in this. Letters almost get lost, like, because of the face, and you don't really see the face, you don't really see the text, and it just becomes this blue pattern or something, and I don't know, I just don't think the design is very clear. It's like a book cover, you like to be clear, and at first glance you want to be like, oh, it's pretty. Like this is like kind of just confusing to the eye, I think, and I'm not really a fan of it, which is maybe why they didn't do the second and third covers, I don't know. Now our last cover today, like I said, I'm not doing any international, and there was a few really interesting ones I found, but this one is the most recent edition print that I have seen in person and in pictures. Pretty recent, and it is these editions. Now, I'm not sure whether they originate from the USA or the UK, I'm sorry. I tried to do as much research on this topic as I could, but it just seems like very difficult to find out where these covers originate from for some reason. They are stunning. First of all, they have that contingency I love, that you can see the first, second and third and you're like, wow, that's a series. You can see that contingency. This is a series that's together and they just look so beautiful together. They're different, but within the same theme. I love the faded coloured backgrounds with like these shapes in the middle made out of like broken feathers. I just think there's something really dynamic and exciting about these covers. I like how the first one, you know, shows a heart, which I guess is what the whole thing is about. And I just love that blue colour for the first one. I think that is so pretty. And the second and third one really carry on. You get that like more deep plummish purple, I think it is. It's hard to tell. Pandemonium, a lot darker, which Pandemonium is a lot darker. And then finally you have that deep red in Requiem, and the heart gets more and more disintegrated through the covers, which I really like because, I mean, accurate! And although these covers aren't the ones I own, I do really like these editions, and I think they're not as like pretty and sweet as the first editions I showed you, but they are epic and impactful and clear, and I think they're designed really well. And now for the summary of the Delirium cover. I don't think it's going to be much of a surprise, I'm afraid. I haven't exactly made it mysterious or anything, but the editions I own are definitely my favourites out of all the covers I've shown. I just think aesthetic, like, I'm going to say this so many times this video, but aesthetically they're just so pretty and clear and beautiful and continue throughout the series, and it represents for me what this trilogy is. This scene, I have seen this in my mind while reading the book. I have seen this picture of Lena like walking to the beach and just being lost and confused and being by herself, and it's this peaceful sense of like self-reflection vibe I get off this. They're just so calm, and I don't know, I just really think they represent the book well. Although I love the last covers I showed you with like the bright colours and the hearts, although I think they're really pretty and I like the disintegrating heart that goes throughout, I just think this represents it better to me. The hearts are really epic and dynamic, but this really shows the emotional, thought-provokingness of this story and journey that this girl takes alone, and her story, and I just think this represents it really well with the landscapes. And as we know, Lauren Oliver does describe these landscapes so clearly, like this is what I saw in my mind, so I just think this fits really well. And I'm sorry to say that those US covers, nope. I'm not trying to offend anyone in the USA, and like if you love those covers that's great, but personally I'm just not a fan of the half face. No, I would definitely pick this cover every time, and I'm so lucky that I managed just to pick this one and love this one the best. Although if I had those new editions I wouldn't be too upset, but all the way. Okay, next up we have the Mindjack trilogy. So there are only really two covers to this. There's no UK, there's no USA, there's basically the original and the remake. So those are the two I'm going to compare. They're pretty similar, but you know, let's get picky guys, let's get into these details. So this is the original cover. Now, I like this cover. It's not stunning, it doesn't blow me away, but I really like it, it's accurate to what it is, and it does draw you in. I like that the face is sort of obscured, you know, with the position of the hand. You just really get the eyes. There's something really mysterious about it, and the way that a lot of faces on covers aren't. It's sci-fi of the brain, and I think it represents the story really well. You can't really tell what the character looks like, so that could easily be Kira, our main character. And I love like the mist on the cover, because that really makes me think of if you've read the book, The Mist. It really does make me think of that juice. Oh yeah, it's just cold and clinical, and it makes me think of all sorts of moments in the book. And I do like this cover, so let's see what the remake has to offer. So this is the remake. I know it's not exactly a ton different, so we're going to really be getting picky here. What have they really changed is the colour of the background and like positioning of the face and the words. Not much has changed. The blue has kind of gone to like kind of this deep brown, and the words have slightly changed, so we've got a big lettering on the bottom in a different font rather than the smaller quirky lettering at the top in black. What do I think of the changes? Now the colour change I quite like. I mean, it does make the words on the bottom stand out with the blue on the brown. I think the words definitely, the title definitely stands out more than the previous cover did, so that's a good plus. And I think the face, like the way they've kind of filtered the face and it's got like this kind of warm orangey vibe, it does really make the face stand out more, which is good. The brown, the colour's less, I mean, it's darker, it's intense, it makes me think of grit and dirt, which again can relate to the series. It kind of makes me think of that desert sand. And it does make me think of it, although I am missing the mist a little bit, the blue mist, I don't know why. Which cover do I prefer more? It's going to be a tough one. I'm afraid it's difficult, like they're both so similar. To be fair, if they'd never done the new remake, or if they'd done the new remake in the first place, there would be no difference at all. There's barely a difference as it is. The colours like different, they both give off different vibes, but they're the same picture, the same, like it's the same. So it's one or half dozen the other really. I was thinking the blue one I like best, but now I'm kind of thinking I do like the brown one. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's not that much of a difference. I'd love to know if you guys think the one looks way better than the other, because I'd be interested to know if they made this change for a reason. Like, I'm thinking, why did they even change it like this? I don't know why. I think it's to match the new covers that have come out for the new series, but let's not go there. But yeah, so based on that makes me want to pick the originals. Biased. So I'm afraid that's all the thoughts I have on those ones. I'm going to go with the originals, I think. I do love the deep darkness of the brown and the way the blue shows up, but I'm just going to go original. What the heck. So next up we have the infamous Hunger Games. May the odds be ever in your favours, book covers, because we are going to pick a winner. And we're going to start with, again, the editions I own. So we have The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay. I know my covers are a little bit beat up and fraying, but you get the general picture. You know what they look like. So we have a jet black background with like the decal of the pins on the centre of the covers. Centre stage, we have the yellow, we have the red for Catching Fire, and the blue for Mockingjay. And each time the bird takes a different position, like it's taking flight. We have the white words underneath in very simple, clear font, which stands out, and obviously author name on the bottom in the accent colour. Now I love this because the black and the bright yellow, red and blue, they just stand out so well. And again, the contingency thing, like they all look so together as a group, and I love that. I just love how, like we'll talk about this cover for now, just love how the gold or yellow like stands out on the black. It just looks so striking. And this pin is like the centre of the story. This cover is dark and mysterious, but it's got like that spark of colour, and that's what this story is. It's that spark of rebellion, it's that dark and dangerousness, but with that one light of hope. And I just love it. It's clear, it's simple, and it's effective. Next up we have the American editions, which are pretty similar to the UK ones, to be fair. There's a few slight differences which we'll go into. So the black background for the first one isn't totally black. It's got like these grey, like circular like symbols, like a maze pattern on them or something. and the logo, like the Mockingjay pin, is like kind of slightly, like it's not in the centre, it's kind of left down a bit. And then you have that iconic white on the top, which is a bit more of an unusual font than the UK cover, and the white author name in the bottom right corner. So it's very similar to the first one. The positioning of the pin is a bit different and the font's different. We still got that black and the yellow. The other two covers, however, they start to diverge a bit more. They still look all as a unit, but they do start to change a little. So this red one of Catching Fire, again we've got the red, the yellow, red and blue, which I really like. It's continued in the US covers, which is good. We've got an all red background this time though, and the Catching Fire symbol is kind of a light backlit from behind with this yellow. I do think that looks pretty cool, like it's lighting up from behind, like the rebellion. And again, we've got the letters in the same font and that white that stands out. And in the third one, we have that blue, and the bird is free and it's centre stage and flying away, and we've got this light blue all over, and the white again on top and bottom. So the difference is they haven't kept really the black throughout all three, and then had one colour in the centre. The colours change, like the background colours change for all the covers, and the symbol is like enlarged or moved, or, you know what I mean, slightly changed, and the font of course. So which one do I prefer more? I'll let you know after we've seen them all. Next we have these covers. Now I've seen them about, I'm not sure if they're UK or USA because I'm a terrible person, but whichever they are, I'm not a huge fan. I know that the covers I own are not the original covers, so I'm not sure, maybe this was the original? No, I think the other USA cover was the original, so maybe this was a reprint. I'm not 100% on that, I'm afraid, I'm really sorry. But yeah, these covers are a little bit weird, they're a little bit strange. So we have this really like quirky font of The Hunger Games, Catching Fire and Mockingjay. All of them say The Hunger Games on as well, which the others did not. These ones say The Hunger Games on all three, because the contingency doesn't look as good. They want to make it more clear. I don't know. We have like this HG, and then it's Katniss or Peter. I've seen a few, one has Katniss on it, one has Peter on it. So I'm not sure, but it's definitely Katniss and Peter in the centre of like this HG symbol, and they're surrounded by black, and you've got like these little red symbols of things everywhere, which like I suppose relate to the book. I mean, it looks fine, I just think it's a little messy and a little, I'm not really a fan of that illustration on the front and the letters of the HG. I don't really think it adds much. I just think it looks, like I said, a little bit messy, a little bit weird. Again with the second two, the second one's got that white and that purple, which is a bit odd for Catching Fire. You know, it's quite gritty, that one, and it's about the rebellion and the jungle, and nothing about that says lilac to me. So we got the bird back in this one, we got the bird flying, so that's good. And we still got that HG. In the third one we have like an all orangey red background, which kind of looks more like that should be Catching Fire. Probably because the other covers we've seen, you know, the red has been associated with Catching Fire. And we've got like this one feather that's gone, so we've lost the bird again, just the feather. And that HG. We've still got like the name and all the little adornments around it. Again, I'm not really a fan. I mean, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with them. They're just, compared to the other covers we've seen so far, they're not as mature, I don't think. I don't know what it's about them that just makes me think they're a bit clunky and a bit odd. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of these covers. Now, before we get on to the summary, I'd just like to point out a few covers I found. Now, this is probably a bit sneaky of me, but I found these covers and thought, wow, I like these covers. I've never seen them before. And I was going to do like a whole thing on them, and then I realised that they were fan-made covers. And I was like, what? What? Because they are so stunning and professional. I thought they were actual covers. So here they are. Like, I really like these. I thought, wow, these are different. I've never seen them, and they're really cool. And I've got all the information below. They come from DeviantArt, and like, I can't believe that I thought these were actual covers. So, well done, fan-made art. Well done. I love these. First of all, again, the contingency, they all look so stunning together. So they've got like this kind of gradiented colour on each. We've got like the green, we got the orangey yellow, and then we've got the blue. And they all have like kind of these silhouettes of Katniss in each of them during the different scenes. So we have her and Peter in like the forest in the first one. We have her like in the rainforest like with a bow in the second one. And in the third one we have her like between cliffs shooting like, you know, with the straight up with like kind of the Mockingjay wing. And I just think they look really, really cool. You can tell there's a certain film influence from them, which is how I should have twigged they were fan made, because you can tell the silhouettes are very Jennifer Lawrence. I just love the way they look, and I love the faces. I don't know if you guys have noticed this yet, but they all have like faces. So the first one and the second one, like the negative space, can you see it? Creates like a profile face. And in the third one, the two cliff sides create two faces. And I just think that looks really, really cool. And the way it works really well with like that gradiented colour and the black. And they just all look really clean and fresh and interesting and mysterious. And I'm like, yeah, I want to know what that's about. They look really pretty, but they also look dark. You can tell there's something not right happening. There's something epic and amazing and dark and weird. And I don't know, I just think it represents it really well and it looks really pretty. The font on the bottom looks really nice. And I know they're fan made, but I like them so much I thought I'd put them up here. So, sue me. So, the summary. You know the ones I like and don't like, so that's obvious. Let's get down to business. Sorry, I slipped into Mulan. Total Freudian, I'm sorry. Let's start with the worst. Just nope. So right, now we've gotten rid of those, we got the serious contenders. So we got the UK edition, we have the US edition, and we have the fan-made edition, which is a million times better. Just saying, fan-made art can be the best. As an artist, I may be too passionate about this, but the best. Which do I like best out of our top three? Don't want to be the predictable, but sorry, I think these are my favourite. But by a very slim margin, it's quite close. Yeah, that plain black and that central pin, I just think they're striking and they're simple, and sometimes there's no need to overcomplicate it, you know? The colours are striking, the images change, the contingency looks good, they stand out, they represent the book great. So the reason I didn't pick the USA editions is they're just less striking to me, because the way they've like kind of made the pins smaller and kind of not centered, and then you've got like these marks on the cover, like those grey ones on the first cover, and the second one's got the red and the third one's got the blue. I don't know, personally they're just not as impactful to me as the plain black and the pin. Like, that's in your face, this is the Hunger Games. Like, this is a little bit more, hey, this is the Hunger Games. That's what it kind of says to me, but like I said, slim margin, and if you like this one better, that's totally cool. As for the fan-made one, it's brilliant, but it is a fan-made and it's not as dark as these others covers are. Illustrations on these with the Mockingjay pin, I think the Mockingjay pin is iconic and I think it's needed, and I do love those fan-made covers though, but like, I'm just going to stick with the classic, what I love, what works. I would totally buy those fan-made covers though, just saying, not just because, you know, support the artist, but I really love those covers. Like, I thought they were real covers to be sold, so I would have bought them. Would you buy them? I'd like to know. What do you think? Did you know that they were fan-made? If I hadn't have told you, what would you have thought? I'm curious. So yeah, my top favourite is the originals that I own. Again, lucky! What's your favourite? Let me know down below, because any of those three I think are deserved winners, but for me personally, gotta go UK. Sorry. So next we have the Harry Potter books, and obviously the first one I'm going to start with is the UK original editions, where it all started. This is what they look like. I mean, you've probably seen all these. I know the USA have different covers, but you've still probably seen them, right? I mean, this is history, guys. This is where it is. These are basically the nostalgia covers. I mean, I can't look at them really clearly because I look at them and my heart swells with happiness. They could be the worst covers I've ever seen in my life and I still think I'd love them. So there's a lot of bias going on in this round, but there's not much I can do about it. What do I think of these covers? I'm going to try and be as objective as possible, but yeah, don't hold me to it. We have the classic illustrations, especially that first one with Harry in the train, and the banners, the coloured banners with coloured fonts on them. And they just all look so good as a unit together. They're not my favourite illustrations ever, but they're Harry Potter, they're the originals, and being the first prints, these have to be lifted up just purely on that alone, that these were the first ever printed. Like, that first cover especially, there was like 500 printed of that when it first came out. There's probably a person who owns 500 copies themselves. It's crazy how small it was when it started and how massive it is now. And these covers are beautiful in a historic way to me. So I do like them. I do like the images on the front. I like the train and the car. I do like the pictures it chose to represent. I thought that worked really well. And I like the colours. I don't have a lot more to say without just being really biased, so I'm going to try and move on to the USA covers. Let's ignore the whole Sorcerer's Stone thing, which I'm realising now I didn't ignore and I went straight to attack it. I'm sorry, but I'm still really bitter about that, because apparently the American publishers think all you Americans are stupid, which is insulting. If I was an American, I'd be insulted. Anyway, other than the name, they changed the covers quite a lot. They obviously were not a fan of the UK covers. Like, respect the history, guys. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be snobby and it's not working. I like the fonts on these ones. Let's go straight in with the positives. I do like the fonts, you know, that's where we get the classic, you know, Harry H on the cover for the first time, so that's really good. The banners are gone, which you could say was a little cheesy on the previous ones, so that's gone. They're a little bit cleaner, I suppose. I prefer the pictures on the UK editions. Like, I prefer the train. I don't know why they went in that first one with Harry flying under the arch. It just doesn't seem like a key moment to me. It seems like an odd first, you know, cover moment to go with. And all the covers seem, you know, the colours are a bit different and they're all like very Harry focused. I know, obviously it's Harry focused, but they all seem to be like close-ups of Harry's face. I like these editions. Again, the illustration style's not my favourite. The problem is with these is they hold absolutely no power over me. I've gone all labyrinth. Yeah, they're not nostalgic to me and they're not the originals, so they hold no like historical significance. I know they don't have that specialness of being the first, and they don't have that, oh, I read these as a child, because obviously I'm not an American. And like I said, I like the fonts, the pictures are pretty good, there's nothing wrong with them, I just kind of look over them, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but UK all the way, because this is where it grew, this is where it began, this is, I mean, they're set, but they're very UK. One of the things that always surprises me is how much America loves Harry Potter, and yet there were so many things in that series that were very UK centric. You know, just the school system and a lot of the language and the slang. There was a lot of UK things that I think they changed a lot in the American, or that the Americans just didn't get. I suppose I have to go with the UKs out of these two just because it's where it started. It is Harry Potter, and these ones are like rebranded Harry Potter. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. So our next editions of Harry Potter, because we're going to get away from the original UK and US debacle here, we have these gorgeous Bloomsbury, like, I'm not sure if they were a 20th edition, but they are that era of reprint. And these are the ones that I own the whole series of. The originals I only actually have a couple of because got sold during my childhood, which I'm not bitter about. Not at all. But, so yeah, these are the ones that I have solid the whole series of. And to be fair, these are beautiful. I love the illustration style. I'll put this one down so you can see like the whole series. There, I realised I was just showing up the Deathly Hallows cover because it was the first one I grabbed and it's purple, like the Philosopher's Stone. But yeah, these are the covers and I just love these. They're colourful, they're bright, they're interesting, yet they're clear and bold, you know. I love the logo. It's got that, you know, the classic Harry Potter logo we kind of know of now, and like the stars. I just love the colours in the pictures. I think the illustration style is definitely the best. Like, art-wise, as an artist, it's definitely the best. The style of the illustration is just so good. I love each of the images it chose to go for, like, you know, in the boat and the basilisk and the Patronus. I just think all the images are stunning. Colours are vibrant and interesting, and they all just stand out so well. And again, the coherence of them, they all just look so bright and colourful together, like on the fronts and on the spines. I love these editions, and they're my editions, and yeah, I think the pictures on them are just perfect. And lastly, just because I thought I'd throw this one in, we have the audiobook covers. So these are the ones I've usually seen on like Audible and those kind of services as the audiobook covers. And these are like the most simplistic of them all. They're like Harry Potter and take away Harry. We don't want any pictures of Harry, we just want small little images from the series and monotone colours. So we've got, for the first one, that red, and then just the owl, and then we've got the green. Like for one of them, we just got a book, like the pages, obviously, Tom Riddle's diary. And I just like these are simple, and the colours are kind of muted and off, and they look mysterious, and I do like them. Like, I wouldn't like them as actual book covers, but I like that for the audiobooks they have their own cover, because I love the audiobooks, and I think to have like their own separate covers for the audiobooks is pretty cool. So yeah, the summary of the Harry Potters I think was kind of obvious through that. I like the newer editions, the 20th ones that I own. I just think they're the nicest. I love the colours and the illustrations. I think they look clean and beautiful. But those original UK ones hold a special place because of what they are and what they represent. You've got to respect that, no matter where you come from, no matter what covers you love and own. You've got to appreciate those original covers, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So, to those covers, we love you. Okay, so now on to my favourite book series ever, the one I unfortunately don't have a physical copy of, and that makes me sad. But for the first one, we're going to go with the original editions, which are these. So they're the blue and with the red cross. These are like the originals, so we're going to start with those. So I like that these blue and black are like really dark, you know, like that silhouetted image with like the handprint, and you've got the hood. And I do think these do represent the darkness of this series. But other than that, they're just not that gripping to me. Like, they're cool, but this series is so amazing in my mind that I don't know if any cover ever would be beautiful enough, but I don't think this one is for me. I just think this series is the best thing ever, and it deserves the best cover ever. So I'm going to be very critical of all the covers in this one. I mean, yeah, they're good. I like that the third and the fourth one, you know, the one with heads and the Statue of Liberty, you can clearly see, well, I clearly see where those images came from, because wow, those moments that are in those books, in, you know, 3 and 4 especially, like, yeah, those heads and that Statue of Liberty are both very powerful, iconic images from those books. And yeah, I do think there's a certain power there in just the topic and what those images show. But before you read the book, you wouldn't know that. Like, it's the Statue of Liberty. It's some weird heads. You don't understand the relevance. And if you've never read this book and have no idea what I'm talking about, you probably don't understand the relevance to those images either. These covers are okay, but I wish they were more. I wish they were as epic as the beautiful words themselves. Now let's move on to the covers I own, which are like the Kindle covers. I think they're like the specialty ebook covers. I've never seen them physically printed. This is Di. So these are the ones I have, and these are the ones I originally bought. They did their job for that. I like the black and the colour, like, again, I think you're getting a theme. I really love like black and then bright colours, because I think it's striking and interesting, and I just think it looks really, really good. It makes it look more epic to me. So I do like the black and that red and the pattern. I love the face because you can't really see the people, and you just kind of get an eye and maybe a nose. And yeah, I think those are striking with the colour overlay on them and the pattern. I love the way the title is kind of tilted. That looks really dramatic, and the white, I think that looks really nice. The thing that's a little bit cheesy is in the corners you've got "Before the Hunger Games there was." Yeah, they're a little cheesy and kind of, you know, name grabby, name droppy. But I mean, they worked because I like the Hunger Games, so I bought these. So you can say what you like about that, but it obviously worked on me, and I'm glad it bloody did, because better than the Hunger Games. A bit cheesy, but at the end of the day, these covers done their job. Whether you like them or hate them, they worked, because I bought these. Obviously, I didn't just buy them on the cover. I obviously read the synopsis, but the covers always play an important part in the sales. So these covers interested me enough, and yeah, I do like the colours and the faces. Does it accurately super represent this series? Probably not. But then again, I haven't seen anything yet that would, and these are nice and striking, and visually I prefer these to the original covers. The original covers are probably more accurate to the book, but I don't know, these just look colourful and fun, and they do, you know? So I quite like these covers. There's nothing more deep than that. And finally, we have the newer print of these covers. Now these are the ones I've seen actually in person, because I haven't seen the originals in person. These I've actually seen in person in like the box set, and yeah, the continuity of them, I say that word so much, but I hate when a series doesn't look together. I don't like it. All of these series have, to be fair, they've all had that continuity. But yeah, this one's an interesting one because it's very simplistic. That first one, you've got the white and you just have like the words embossed, like they're peeking out from beneath fabric or something. I have a sneaky suspicion it's not fabric because it looks sinister. Like, these images kind of are clear and, you know, clear cut, simple. This is what they are. There's no other complications, but there is a meaning in them, and maybe I'm reading too much meaning, but when I really look at them, it makes me go, oh, because I think I see some materials there that really relate to the series and some creepy things going on. And I don't know whether that's me just trying to overread into what they are, but I think that was the whole point, because otherwise why would they bother having like the letters coming out of like fabrics? It seems a bit lame otherwise, so like the meaning of those specific things seem to be why they went for it. The letters are nice and clear and the colours are very, very muted. So again, these covers, they do the job. They kind of represent what it's about, but not really. Summary of my favourite series ever, and the covers, is none of them are perfect. None of them are close to being great to me. Now I know that sounds really harsh, but it's my favourite series, and none of these covers like scream yes, you know, none of them amazingly represent the series. None of them are so aesthetically beautiful I want to kiss the cover, you know. And for my favourite series, that's kind of sad, because I'd love the covers to look as amazing as that book is to read. I'd love for them to be aesthetically pleasing and really represent that story. Maybe that's too tall of an order. Maybe this series is so good no art could possibly match it. But I'm an artist and I like to believe that, you know, there could be a design out there that would make these amazing. So none of these are the best, but I think I'd probably go with maybe the originals for the way that they really represent what it's about, and the images are interesting. I'd probably prefer to own the newer covers though, because of the box set, and it does look quite nice. I like the Kindle ones just because they're fun and for no other reason than they look aesthetically pleasing to my eye with the colours. So I think the answer here is nobody really wins, and if anyone has like their own fan-made online cover that could blow me away, send it. Bring it! Yeah, it's a shame that, you know, my favourite book ever doesn't have the best cover ever, but, you know, maybe that's what I could do. Maybe one of these videos I could paint my own cover of Unwind. That would be cool, right? A fan-made cover for my favourite book. Now that would be pretty cool. Now, if you remember in my favourite books video, I did a list of honourable mentions after my list, where I went through all the other books that are not quite in that list, but I love to death and are like 9s only. I won't do that today since we seem to be running on time. This video is going to be quite long as it is. There's only a few of them that I could compare anyway. I think there's a few that only have one cover, like The Saviour's Champion, Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and Echoes, so there's only a couple I could compare anyway. And here is the summary of overall of what we've talked about today. So my favourite cover, I think, out of all the ones we've seen today, is the Delirium cover. My favourite Delirium cover, just because it's by far the prettiest. It is just beautiful on its own as a piece of art, but it also reflects the book perfectly. It just ticks all the boxes, and I think it's the prettiest cover out of all the ones we've seen today. So this is my winner of the day. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'm really enjoying doing these videos at the moment. It's been a lot of work, but this whole week long of a video every day is intense, but I think it's gone really well, and I'm trying my best, and I think I'm getting better every single video. I'm learning more and more and more in editing and all sorts of stuff. So thank you so much for everyone who's like supporting me so far, and it means the world. And you know what to do: like, subscribe, comment, share. If you do want to comment down below on what your favourite book covers are, especially of your favourite books. Do you even like the cover of your favourite book? I want to know. So let me know down below, and thank you so much for watching and sticking it out to the end. You are my hero. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!